many? Let me get this. Welcome to weekly meeting 4/6/24. All right. So how many of you guys could drive to Nantucket right now? Put your phone. If you didn't have a phone, how many of y'all could make it to Nantucket? If you just got in your car and started driving.
Where's that?
Exactly. Where is that?
Mhm.
It's in Massachusetts. Here's my point, guys.
I'll be like 2 tears in a bucket. Bucket.
Here,
What?
but listen, here's the point. We as traders, we have to have a roadmap. And listen, man, I can't drive like Selena drives, right? I mean, and I can't drive like TT drives. I might be able to ask them what they do. You know, maybe they shift gears. You know, maybe Prince drives a lot faster than I drive, but I have to drive where I'm comfortable, right? I might not be able to see at night. Why the hell am I driving at night then? Just because Prince drove 150 miles an hour at night, I might not be able to drive in rain. Maybe Isaiah is a great driver in wet conditions. Maybe Felicia can drive in the snow. Maybe I've never driven in snow. These concepts need to be applied to your trading. It's okay to pick up a style. Hey, you know, Kim, how do you try trade zone to zone? Okay, that's cool. Maybe you don't wait for a retest when price hits your zone. You have to tailor that zone to zone to you. Because maybe Kim at work can look at the charts at any point. She can take a trade at any time. Maybe you just have these set hours. For me, things have to line up, right? On my idea trade, I can look at these pairs, and I can tell you off the top of my head, man, GA has a weekly order block on it. I know it has a bearish order block. I need on Sunday night, GA got to be buying up. For me, it got to be buying up. You need to hit its climax on Tuesday. And I need to be in GA for that sale on Tuesday, probably Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. I need to be riding GA down to the sunset. Right? This previous week, price opened up. I'm looking at EJ. Man, I needed to sell. I hopped in, I caught me a few pips. GJ was outperforming EJ, in my opinion. Tuesday at 5 o'clock, I saw that dog tail, that little wick down. I saw the rejection wick. For me, I knew it was good for a buy. It went down. My criteria is if it sells for those first 2 days, bro, it's gonna buy. I'm gonna get 200 out of it. I'm gonna get 200 pips on that buy, just from my experience. Y'all can argue with me on it, but this is what I expect. And I'm not trying to convince you, but I have expectations myself, right? I don't have to go to the chat and hunt for somebody else who's in a trade, because I have expectations of these setups. If the market opens up and GA starts selling, I'm looking at something different. Even if GA eventually corrects itself, right? My criteria for me, I need to see the low of the week on Tuesday or Wednesday, the high of the week on Tuesday or Wednesday for me, because then I can hop in and I can ride for a couple of 100 pips. That works for me.
Now, what's funny is that ever since I've been here, I've heard you explain that, and people lose. And now you can not lose and go see exactly what he said, like, because he's been saying it every it's so repetitious. You can't miss at that point. When you have somebody that has experience and they're doing it, instead of losing, go look at what a win looks like. That means you got to be intentionally looking at Tuesday. You have to look at what happened from Sunday to Tuesday. And people continually go and lose instead of go and see if this actually works. That makes no sense. That's bad math. We're here
Time
for
and
the
price.
numbers.
And here's the deal. It doesn't even matter for me. It's not about being right or wrong, right? I'd rather win than be right. So even if I'm looking for a move that doesn't pan out, I need to see certain things before I can hop in this move. If I dropped it down, right? If I drop down in these time frames and we actually see this is 1700. Rejection, right in my zone, right? This is the imbalance. If you want to look at it, price come up to here, expansion, left the imbalance. So we know price is going to come back, fill this imbalance, and then bounce, right? Now, whether I'm biased for it to go higher than this high, or this, if I fib from here to here, this could be an 80% pullback to go lower. 78% pullback to go lower. It doesn't matter. All that to me is argumentative. There's 200 pips right here. So when price bangs out, I could have hopped in on this bang out. But y'all know, like I like what ICT says about the 2 a.m., you know, the kill zone, right? So if you look at 2 a.m., they're bullish order block. That's my entry. When price came down, I didn't wait for the green candle. I'm in this joke. Now this eventually came back. It went lower than I would have liked, but I took this EJ and GJ. Bam. It goes straight to where I thought it would go. Now, there's an order block here, and there's an Asian session liquidity that never got purged, right? So I'm trying to stretch out for the 200 pip move. I can target the top of this Asian liquidity. It goes right to it, right to it. Now, you don't have to believe in these things. You personally don't have to believe it. This is how I trade every week. And this might go through several of your zones, right? That you're trading. Not to say that trading your zones are wrong. That's the way you trade. And that's the way you see it. And that's cool with me. But I'm just going to tell you the way I see the market. And it's not that I'm right or wrong, but this is how I'm going to trade. I'm not hopping in this trade until I see what I need to see, and I know that I need to see. So at 5 o'clock, when this gave me a rejection, there's nothing wrong with if you had hopped in at 5 p.m. There's nothing wrong with it. You just sit through the Asian session chop, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with me taking this trade at 2 because of the kill zone trade, and I had expectations. Nothing wrong with it. The only thing that I had to do is protect this low. That's it.
So simple.
And this is this is where we overcomplicate situations as traders. Once you saw that and you enter, price goes to TP, right? It gets to TP Thursday, 5 a.m. It pushes down. It comes back, gives you an entry right there at your New York kill zone for the sell. Now, you might have said, well, Todd, it's going higher. There's a bullish order block. I see what you mean by this is a bullish order, but I see a liquidity sweep on a 78% pullback that was already pushed here. So that's a sell. You could have got you another 100 and some pips on the sell down. But I'm not telling you you have to trade the way I trade, or you have to see the market the way I see it. But what I'm telling you is, if you're not good with 100 or 300 pips in a week, you'll probably never be satisfied. If you don't have a plan that is requiring things from you, like I always say, oh, time and price. Hey, look at the time. Look at where price is. My expectation is the market's going to give me a fake move at the first of the week, and then we go into where we going. It need to happen for me on one of them kills on time. For me, maybe not for you, and that's cool. But time and price rules the day for me. And once I get what I'm trying to get, and my next kill zone time, I can take a different move. That's cool. But if you don't have these requirements, if you don't have these expectations, right? Then you shouldn't be mad when you date a fat dude or a fat chick, right? You don't have any expectations. Who cares if they nasty and they don't, you know, whatever the case may be. You don't have any expectations. So why are you upset that this person that doesn't meet what you really want wants to date you? You accept anything. In trading, you must have a plan first. And then in trading, you must execute that plan before you can ever expect to have results that you can depend on. If you have no plan, you'll get whatever results you get, and you'll be switching systems every 2 weeks, every 2 months. If you don't have any controls that help you execute that plan, then you can never depend on your results. You can't trust them because your results are going to be all over the place because there are no controls placed on what you're doing. You look in your MT4 and there's 72 trades in there, MT5 or whatever trade, trade locker. You got 17 trades. How do you know what you're doing wrong? It's 17 freaking trades. And you're a swing trader, Brad. Even scalpers shouldn't have 17 different trades.
Oh, shoot.
We have to stop the self-sabotaging. That's self-sabotaging. And then after we self-sabotage, we can't even own up to what we're doing. So we can't find success. Look, man, there are ample opportunity for us to be successful week in and week out. I get it. We're not always going to win. And that's not what I'm trying to say here. You know, I lose just like anybody else. I lose. And I look back, man, what happened? God dog it. It didn't give me my weekly move up first before I tried to sell it. I know better. I got to do better next week. Weekly bearish order block. I'm expecting price to push up, then I'm expecting the price to sell down. If I decide to take this buy up, I can't get angry if it doesn't go to where I want it to go. Does it hit the premium price? Like, does it go past the 50 and give me the premium? Because I want to sell it from the premium. I don't want to sell it from a discount. I want to sell it from the premium. Does it hit it? If it does, bam, I can take this sale. For me, I can take it to this imbalance right here and ultimately to this imbalance right here. That's me. Maybe y'all don't see it that way. I can't argue with you on the way you see it. That's not really what we're here for. I can be in a sale and you can be in the buy. We can both make money. I don't know where you're selling it from. I don't know where you're buying it from. I could be taking the opposite trade that you're taking, and we can both come out winners. But if you don't have the roadmap to where you're going, then you can't really expect to be successful. And that's, that's kind of the theme, that I kind of see that happens week in and week out. And it's okay to try to enhance what you already have going on as a trader. If you already have a system that works, enhance that system. What do I mean by that? Hey man, how do you enter? Like, how do I get a better entry? Or hey man, like I always get out of my trades prematurely. How can I get a better beat on an exit? Hey, how do I know when it's a pullback versus a reversal? Those sort of things that might help you increase your wins or whatever, or get out of a loser fast enough, right? Market structure is a huge challenge to traders, especially in this group. A lot of people are struggling with market structure, and we try to hit that all the time. But if you just get into practice of understanding where your trade setup is, right? So if I'm taking this trade, I'm gonna protect the top of this red candle. That's an order block. I'm going to protect the top of the red candle first. My swing will be at the top of this green candle, because that's the true order block, right? The wick of this green. So if price goes above that wick, then it's really it invalidates the short, right? Now, the decision that every trader makes is, do I buy it up for the equity, like to gain equity, and then sell it because I know it's going to buy up 100 and some pips? Those are personal decisions, right? So if you're not buying it up and it goes 171 pips up, then it turns around to sell, and it goes higher and it takes you out the trade, and then it sells. These are things that you have to own as the trader. Because what is your plan for that? The reason I like to buy it up is it gives me equity. And really, at the end of the day, I can enter somewhere up here for the sale. And if it goes higher, who cares? I have equity. And then when it pushes down, I'm in the trade. That's how I trade personally. But you can't borrow my style, not understanding what I'm doing. I mean, you can, but you're probably going to take a few more L's. So what I want everybody to kind of understand is, hey, the community, it was created so we can have a group of traders, the same way that the club is created for a group of people who want to meet and greet, whether they just like to dance, they like to mingle with the opposite sex, whatever the case may be. This is our club. This is where we can go and talk to somebody else who does the same thing that we do. Hey man, like, how do you approach this? Or how do you approach that? Hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? That's the purpose of the group. The purpose of the group isn't for you to nibble on every person you feel like is successful. You nibble on what they do, and then you implement it with no strategy, with no understanding, and with no rules. You, sir, ma'am, are a loser. And you're a loser because you don't even understand that you need to have a plan first, right? That's a plan as far as a trading plan. You need to have some rules, and then you need to have some controls. Does everybody know what a control is?
Yes.
What is a control to you, TT?
And that means that I have to control my entries and my risk to reward greed button.
Yes.
That's what that means.
That could be the amount of trades. That could be the time that you can enter. That could be how many pips that this trade. Hey man, like, I have a problem with getting in a trade. It goes up 75 pips and it pulls back, and I lose the trade. Well, maybe you have a rule that says, hey man, at 50 pips, I need to put my stop loss, win, lose, or draw. The name of the game is to increase, not to watch it go up and then lose. Watch it go up and lose. Because maybe you have a misunderstanding of how far you can take that trade. So we all have to implement these controls, man, because if you don't have those controls, everybody around you is going to keep winning and you're going to keep losing.
I got another analogy on control. Are I watch a lot of YouTube, and you'll have people that'll take a steak and then they'll cook it one way, and then that'll be the control, and then the other steak is the test steak, right? Your control is your grade A setup. You know that that works. Now everything else is based off of your grade A setup, which is your control. You have to have that in place. If you don't have that grade A setup in place, you don't have anything. You have to at least have that. And you got to find it.
I agree 1,000% with that. And at some point as a trader, you'll just stop taking anything that's not a grade A. I
Yeah.
don't like, I don't understand why I ever took a trade that wasn't a grade A, because there are so many opportunities that we're reaching, right? Let me give you an example of if I look at this chart, right? Even if I just looked at what we were just looking at from right here, if I saw nothing else on this chart but this little piece right here, I don't have to drop down any time frames to see that we had this high, we had price to run above that high, then we had price come back down. For my setup, we needed to fill this imbalance before we started selling. On the weekly chart, price comes right back, fills that imbalance. Did it take some time for it to start selling? Yes. Is that an inconvenience? Yes. But if you were just trading off this weekly chart, let's say you got into this trade way down here and you knew you had to protect the wick of this green candle because that's the true order block. Did you lose that trade? Hell no, you didn't lose the trade. Not even close. There's your zone. If you want to call it a zone, that's cool. Hey, you know, that's your weekly zone or whatever. For ICT, when this pushed down and we broke this structure, there's an imbalance. That's your displacement. You can take your trade at this displacement. Right here, you could have took that trade. You'd have went in a little drawdown. Now this is about to turn and burn. If you trade the way I trade, and maybe you don't, which is cool, but what your boy always tells me, ICT tells me, is if I fib this total up move, my target should be this 50%. That's the discount. Now, on a higher time frame, if I believe this is going to sell, then I could target way down here, the next imbalance at least. And I don't want to argue with nobody on whether it's going to sell or not. All I'm saying is my trade would be up and then target the 50%. Easy peasy. Because there's plenty of room after it goes up. Let's say it pulls up to this level. If you trade up, back down, that's 270 pips. Everybody should have a great win with 270 on the table.
These are the facts.
We're playing in a big enough puddle for everybody to win and see it how you see it. But there are control mechanisms that are just not being placed, right? And a lot of style jumping, man. It's a lot of style jumping. And that's just going to make it hard on you as a trader. It's going to make it harder for you to find a consistent level of success. If you keep it simple, you know, even if you trade in a 1 week, you could be trading a 2 week. If you're doing the same thing, hey man, there's an order block. I expect price to push up first to your golden zone, then sell. Whether it's 2 week, 3 week, 1 week, 1 month, 2 month, it doesn't matter. The grade A setup is the fact that there's an order block and you're trading price back to that order block and then away from that order block. Maybe you're a person that says, Todd, I don't want to take a counter trend trade. I only want to wait until price comes into that zone, gives me rejection to sell. Hey man, if that works for you, that's how it should be. So you wouldn't have taken this trade until it hit your zone. Then you would have sold away from it. Comes back and hits your zone again. Maybe you just sell away from it. How however you're doing it is fine, as long as you know what you need to see. If you don't know, then you can't blame anybody for not finding success. And that's why you haven't found success, because you don't know.
And you don't have anybody to say it to, because it's only you. You not saying to yourself, I don't know. You're not supposed to be saying, I don't know. You're supposed to have an answer. So you got to find the answer and put it in place of, I don't know. We can't say, I don't know. You have all the answers. There's no reason that you don't know. You go find out.
And in my opinion, there are you can ask anybody what system they use to trade. Hey, Marv, what system you use? Hey, I do X, Y, and Z. Maybe you want to trade Marv's system, which is cool. But once you get the system that he uses, now you need to tailor that to you, because Marv is in London. You know what I'm saying? Marv might work different hours than you. It's a great chance that he does. So you take Marv's system, you shave off this corner, you shave off that corner, you paste this to here, and bam, you have a system that's tailored to you. Because you're awake these hours, you can trade this on this session. Doesn't matter what pair, because GJ gonna move on my session, and it's gonna move on this session. It's gonna give Marv an entry. It's gonna push down and pull back and give me an entry too. My entry won't be the same as Marv's, but it's still gonna give me an entry. So these are the things that you have to figure out as a trader personally. And then you can take your system into the market and you can get some wins consistently. And you can't just trade Marv's system for 3 weeks. Oh man, it's too many L's. Bruh, you've been doing it for 3 weeks. All these systems come with L's. If you don't want to take no L's, man, bruh, Walmart hiring. You won't take no L's in Walmart. Stay away from trade, man. You're gonna lose in trade. Y'all have any questions? I think today I wanted to share this video. Y'all might have seen it once or twice, but this video is so it means everything to me. Like I probably listen to this thing like once a month, but it's sobering. It's
Is that the Oliver Roulette, what's his name?
yeah,
Video?
Oliver Velez, man. That's exactly right. It's sobering because he tells no lies. And our expectations are crazy. Like sometimes we all need to check ourselves on what we really expect. Because when you look in the mirror and you ask yourself, what are you doing to achieve these expectations? Brad, man, I expect to see a six-pack when I look down. Ain't did not one cardio, not one sit-up. You don't even know how to do it. You don't have no equipment. You ain't ran no lap. You ain't did nothing. You still eating fat, greasy hamburgers. You still eating all this stuff. You eat when you want to eat, how much you want to eat.
The cons of day trading. And this is an area that most people don't ever talk to you about. But let me tell you this. No one in this entire world can ever fault me, Oliver Velez, for not sticking the cons in your face. Every time I grab a
We shall see. We'll see. If you have a plan and you execute your plan, then you have to, you have to live with those results. Those results are your real results. If you say I'm trading GA, this is my entry criteria, this is where I'm taking the trade to. If you do that and you lose those trades, those are legitimate losses and they're cool. It's just like filling your gas tank up. Gas prices are high, but you got to fill it up. That's the cost of doing business. The cost of driving a car. The cost of trading is taking legitimate setups that you lose, and there's nothing wrong with it. But are you adding to that? Are you driving your car at 115 miles an hour, running the gas out of it faster? Are you taking extra trades because OG won his trades? He's showing profits. Are you taking your trades because Newhoff posts some W's in the middle of the night? Those are the areas, that should be avoided. If you want to take the same trade that Newhoff takes, learn what he's doing. I mean, he begged you to come look at him every freaking night. Learn what he's doing and take the trades because you did your analysis and it met your entry criteria. You want to take the same trades that Kim takes every 3 weeks? Once it hits her entry criteria every 3 weeks, then you take that same trade. So what? You got to wait 3 or 4 weeks before you enter the trade. She gonna win. If you want to trade the way I trade, that's cool. Wait for your setup. Either trade it up and then trade it down, or just wait for it to go up and trade it down. But you're not getting the trade until Tuesday or Wednesday. You got to be okay with it. OG might have posted 7 wins before Tuesday. You can't worry about that.
It's the intention, right? You got to have an intention. A lot of people don't have intention where they should have intention. And we got to put it in words, because if nobody puts it in words for you, you don't get that light bulb to click. We got to keep bringing that to the forefront. What is my intent? I'm trying to navigate from one zone to the next zone, whatever these zones are. You're going from position A to position B. You're either in the sell or you're in the buy. You're going from point A to point B. So that's the intent. Okay, now how do I implement that? Now here comes everything that we do that we call the basics. We're applying all these things to get ourselves into our grade A setup. So we're doing that in front of you, but you're looking at us like, oh, we're just getting in the trade. No, we do all of the analysis and really pinpoint what we're doing, but nobody else has the actual pinpoint, because it's like art. It's upon the eye of the person doing the art. So it's hard because you can't paint the whole picture. Obviously not. When you put it in those terms, then you understand it. But when you're trading, you don't see it like that. And then you're confused.
Dazed and confused.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody catch this Chef JPY setup Friday? Best trade in the house.
Looks pretty healthy.
Trade back up to your imbalance. This is just the way I see it. You might see it differently. So in my mind, right? This is how I would take this trade setup. There's the wick. I could cover this. Now I'm supposed to cover the top wick, right? Now, if you notice, you see the liquidity grab before price shot down. You missed this move. I missed this move. You know, I was trading EJ on the way down, but this pair didn't pull back up like EJ and GJ. It played around, which gave the opportunity for the first entry at Wednesday, 9 a.m. for you to push back up. If you had traded this pair, yeah, it would have been in profit, been frustrated because it just played around and played around. But it gave you another entry on the London session. Friday morning. Now it's pushing up. You could take this trade all the way to the top, or you could wait until it gets up here to take the sell down, if you believe it's selling. Got to do your own analysis. But if you're not looking for these trade setups, and if you don't have any requirements for these trades, you don't have any understanding of a concept that you're trading, then you can't go in here and hunt. You can't go fish for your own food. You have to constantly depend on somebody else to post a trade setup.
I was getting older.
My digestion is changing.
I started taking one shot of dose every day, and wow.
Dose is clinically backed. It aids liver function and supports healthy liver.
I don't know about dose, but so listen, if you're having problems finding trade setups, if you're having a problem with whatever strategy that you're using, go to the person who you're getting the strategy from. Get with them. Do a one-on-one with them. Implement some rules for that strategy for you, and then focus on taking those setups, you know, for the next month or two, right? A lot of people say it takes 6 months. In my opinion, you know, you notice this stuff like right away, but you know, give it time. But just execute those trade setups. And if you just stick to those trades, you might only enter 1 or 2 trades in a week. But it's cool if you're winning. Anybody have any questions? All righty then, good folks. Everybody got their trade set up. I saw the list came out. But you know, do your own analysis. It's great that each posts the order blocks, but all of us can go see order blocks. She might have missed one that you wanted to trade. It's not her job, guys. Like, she's doing that to help out, which is cool. And eventually, hopefully everybody gets a turn to do that, because when you start posting that information, you get in the habit of looking and seeing what happens. And you're like, man, every one of these things are playing out, or at least 92% of these order blocks are playing out. If I just trade this setup every week, I win. Then you come to that on your own, and you don't listen to somebody who gets up here and tells you about it. You can see it for yourself.
Yeah, it goes back to, you know, we've all been in many groups, I would assume. We've all been in at least 10 different groups since we've gotten to this position. And it's been a certain narrative in these groups. Our narrative is completely different here. It's the same, but it's way more enhanced, right? So there are a lot of styles, but what people like to do is come in and try to take someone's style. Well, obviously we want to learn something. What are we learning? Okay, well, if you're with Kim, you're learning Kim's strategy. But there are so many things that we implement within our strategy. It could be multiple strategies layered on top of each other. So it just gets into this rabbit hole, right? But a lot of people come in to grab something like that. Like, I'm not here to grab, I'm here to give. So it's a little different, right? But you got to figure out that there's two sides to that. And there's always two sides because trading is life and life is trading. You need to figure out how to navigate both sides of the spectrum on anything you do because it's all entangling. So the best way to do things is understand the other's perspective. That way you conquer debate. Now you're not debating, you're going with what the structure actually tells you. Trading is life, life is trading. Once again, you do this in life. You got to weigh it, right? The information that you have, you know what to do with it, right? You know when you're not at your best. You know when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And then it's self-accountability at that point. You got to be accountable for what you know. Well, if you don't know, you need to figure it out. So don't get caught up in all these styles. They all work. That's the thing. It's not even, everything is entangling. I may not do it like Todd, but it's the same thing because we're profitable. That means I can catch the same trade and look at it differently and still catch the same trade because it all works. So we get too far into the microscope sometimes. You got to back out a little bit so you can see a little bit more and then make adjustments. My opinion.
I agree 1,000%. And everybody is here to answer questions, man. Like if you have questions, ask. I mean, we're here to help. With that being said, there are two slots that are open for if you want to break down pairs at 3 p.m. I believe it's Thursday and Monday. Who's doing Monday right now?
Elfie?
I think Elfie has a class that she's in. I know
So Monday's open now too?
Yeah, I think so. It's not a big deal, guys. But we just want to give people the opportunity. Yeah, 5 p.m. 5 p.m. market close. I call it's 3 p.m. for me, but yeah, 5 p.m. market close. But you know, the opportunity to excel is here. And I know before you ever get on a Zoom and lead a Zoom, it seems intimidating. You know, maybe you don't have all the answers. Maybe you see the market differently, or you don't want nobody judging the way you look at the market. You know, let me be the first to tell you, you're gonna get judged either way. You're gonna get judged. You're gonna call the market a certain way, and it's gonna do something different. That's the market, man. Like, I always try to say, I don't care about being right. I care about making money. And that's what I mean. I'm gonna tell you what I see, and what I see may or may not pan out. You know, but at the end of the day,
Join Planet Fitness and get energized with fitness that fits your budget. Never intimidating. Always.
that too, Tasha. But look, at the end of the day, you do not press that button unless the trade meets your criteria. That's very important as a trader. It's a lot of times where I know that this setup is going to make itself available. And I'll be up on London, bloodshot eyes, and the setup don't make itself available. God damn. Now you got to make a decision. Do I take it anyway? Do I go to sleep? Right? Just go back to sleep. Or if you know what you're doing, you could look at a different pair. Maybe you scouted two setups, one you like better. And by the time London rolls around, something different happened. Or the news came out and now it looked totally different. The point is, it's hard to do the right thing, right? It's like having that significant other, you know, but that dude is always in your DM, ladies. And you always mad at your man because he's smiling at some girl face, but you texting back and forth, sending pictures to some dude in your DM. You can't do that with trading. You can do it, but you're gonna get some jacked up results. Do I have any questions? Everybody's good. Everybody got their setup. Everybody's comfortable with what they're looking at. Yay or nay? We can break down some pairs if we need to.
You know, I'm not comfortable with losing. I'm not. You get to a certain position in your life where I don't want to lose a dime. You gotta hate losing. Like he said about being the biggest loser, right? Yeah, we did that, right? So now we're winning, and now I hate losing. So I have to do everything in my will to not lose a dime. So that's how I feel these days, right? I don't lose nothing. I get in where I'm supposed to get in and take it to the promised land every time. That's what I live. That's what it has to be, because you have the ability to actually do that. So I want people to feel that. I hope you do sooner than later, because it's there. You can do it.
All right, good folks. So y'all's minds are clear. So we will adjourn this meeting.